Welcome back to the channel, folks, and what a sobering 2 days of Test cricket it's been from Guwahati. India, under siege in their own backyard, as South Africa have built a monumental fortress. Guwahati was supposed to be a return to tradition. Bright sunlight, a passionate crowd, and a pitch that offered a genuine contest between bat and ball, a far cry from the lottery we saw in Kolkata. But as the stumps were drawn on day 2, a sense of dread had descended. South Africa, with incredible discipline and growing confidence, have erected a towering 489. To put that in perspective, no team has ever scored that many runs in the first innings in India and gone on to lose the Test match. History is not on India's side. On day 1, India's bowlers fought tooth and nail. Bidai 2, they were completely overwhelmed by one of the most stunning and psychologically bruising lower order assaults India has ever faced at home. Let's break down how we got here. Day 1 started with so much promise. This was a classic Test match surface. It had good pace, bounce, and carry. Batters could trust their defense, and bowlers had to be intelligent and persistent, not just predatory. And, for the most part, India's bowlers were up to the task. It was disciplined, classical, almost old-school stuff. Jasprit Bumrah's opening spell of Foodi, something Marshall would have been proud of. In 6 overs, he conceded just 7 runs, inducing 9 false shots and even had a catch dropped. He was beating both edges of the bat, creating indecision, and just radiated this aura that a wicket was inevitable through sheer relentlessness. And when the wicket did come, it was almost an anticlimax. Aiden Markram chopping a harmless-looking delivery on was the story in a nutshell. India would bowl exceptionally well, create immense pressure, and South Africa would survive, accumulate, and occasionally find a boundary, but they never truly dominated. Youssef Markram 38, suive, Stubb 49, Bavouma 41. De Zorzi 28 failures. These were the scores of a batting lineup under a constant, suffocating squeeze. But, for all their brilliant containment, India needed more than just tight bowling. They needed wickets. They needed that ruthless killer instinct, and they just couldn't quite find it. If day 1 belonged to any single player, it was the artist Kuldeep Yadav. His dismissal of Tristan Stubbs, en 49, with the very first ball of a new spell, was an absolute masterpiece. It was cricketing geometry at its finest. He drifted the ball wide of off-stump, teasing the drive, pulling the batsman across his crease, and then got it to turn just enough to kiss the outside edge. Taken smartly by K.L. Rahul, Kuldeep bowled with flight, ambition, and real intelligence, picking up 3 crucial wickets on a day 1 pitch that demanded creativity and supreme control. Then there was Ravindra Jadeja. On the evening of day 1, he produced a spell for the ages. 13 overs, 3 maidens, for wickets for just 29 runs. He was simply unplayable. But that was in stark contrast to his morning spell, where he seemed to lose his line, got a bit desperate, chasing wickets, and leaked runs. On pitches like this, patience is the most valuable currency, and for a brief period, Jadeja was bankrupt. Still, at the close of day 1, with South Africa at 247 for 6, the match felt perfectly poised. You could even say the momentum was slightly tilting towards India. The stage was set for India to wrap things up quickly on day 2 and take control of the Test. And then, day 2 arrived, and the entire script was torn to shreds. If day 1 was a classical, patient game of chess, day 2 was an all-out riot. And the instigators were Senjuren, Mathuzumi, and Marco Jonsson. Mathuzumi, the gritty, stubborn, and technically correct batsman, and Jonsson, the wild, fearless, audacious destroyer. Together, they absolutely broke India. Their 7th-wicket partnership of 97 runs ju 106 balls didn't just change the session. It permanently altered the course of this test match. Marco Jonsson was just breathtaking. His 93 came from only 91 balls and included 7 sixes, the most ever hit by an overseas player in a test innings in India. He has this incredible combination of timing, power, and reach. He was turning good-length deliveries into boundary options, turning tight, disciplined spells into carnage. For 120 overs, India had bowled with near-perfect control. Jonsson dismantled all of it in about 10 overs. And at the other end, holding it all together, was Senjuren Mathuzumi. He went on to score a magnificent 109. A century in India is always special. But to get one batting at number 7, with the series in the balance, on a debut test venue, that is simply exceptional. His innings was patient, classy, and mentally unshakable. It was perfectly paced, defending when he had to, and punishing the bad ball. Thanks to this incredible partnership, South Africa's run rate skyrocketed. In the first session of day 2, they scored a point for on Perovi. In the second session, that jumped to 4.8, India went from a position of control to one of pure survival. And that is when the number on the scoreboard started to feel impossibly heavy, 489, as we said. No team has ever lost a test in India after posting a first innings total that high. So, the pressure shifted immeasurably onto India's shoulders. They had to come out and start their reply, facing a handful of incredibly awkward overs before the close of play. They managed to navigate it, closing day 2 on 9, for 0 from 6.1 overs. It's not a disaster, but it's certainly not comfortable. The nerves are already showing. The pitch is still good for batting. The real challenge now is not technical, it's psychological. India are trailing by 480 runs. That isn't a deficit. It's a mental Everest they have to climb. So, let's look at the big talking points. First, India's bowling was genuinely brilliant for long periods, but it was ultimately undone by a lack of penetration. They contained South Africa, but they couldn't bowl them out. Second, South Africa's lower order is arguably the best in world cricket right now. That partnership between Jonsson and Mathuzumi looked like a top-order masterclass. Third, it's becoming clearer just how much India misses Shubman Gill. His absence affects the technique, the temperament, the confidence, and the entire stability of the batting order. Fourth, South Africa's belief is palpable. This isn't a lucky team. This is a champion team playing with immense self-confidence. And finally, India's fear of classical, good-quality pitches might just be their undoing. This pitch was tailor-made for India's strengths, but on the day, South Africa simply played the conditions better. Where does this leave the match? South Africa are in a commanding, almost unlosable position. India have to bat for at least a full day's just to stay in the game. The prospect of a series defeat is now looming large. To survive, India will need immense temperament, character, application, and a long-forgotten skill in modern cricket, batting for time. For South Africa, the path is simpler. They just need to maintain their patience, bowl with accuracy, and be ruthless when the chances come. The pressure is now entirely on India. Guwahati, which started with so much hope, may well become a turning point in how India views its Test cricket future. It's going to be a fascinating and, for Indian fans, a nerve-wracking few days ahead. Thanks for watching, everyone. What do you think? Can India bat their way out of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this analysis, please hit that like button and subscribe for more reports. We'll see you for the next one.